consider them accordingly. But I won't eat any vegetables grown in that stuff. They did it in China for years and years and years, centuries. But the Chinese didn't have pharmaceutical companies like we do. They didn't have doctors that overdosed everybody with prescriptions that they didn't know whether they needed it or not. Let's just try it.
That's why they're practicing that.
Yeah. Our late arrivals are folks from Africa. These are the folks that are going to help us sell this product in Africa. The first gentleman is going to stand up. That's Isa Kone, and his brother works with a French company that grew cotton, and so they have a real need. And you'll have to introduce yourselves.
My name is Larson Kone. I'm Isa Kongko.
I'm Miss Anna. I'm Isa's friend.
And my name is Hasidan. I'm his niece.
Okay, so they've got some connections in Africa that will work to sell this product, and we don't have to worry about the 110 days that we have to put it on the ground here. We've got a lot more than that over there. Well, I think that wraps it up, unless you have any more questions.
Do I get it correct? There's no way to get rid of manure without being a member?
Yeah, it wouldn't be fair to the other members.
If you're a need for some, you just let me know and I can get that done.
Okay, we run short.
Yeah, I have a question.
Yes.
To address his need and the smaller farmers' need, is there a possibility of smaller tankers?
Well, it wouldn't be too practical. We need the 25,000 gallons. We need the input. But if you collected it over a short period of time, so all the methane didn't escape.
I would consider making a lagoon or something like that to make that we have more at one time. As far as
One of the things we ran into with the hog farmers was their concern about biosafety, about bacteria moving from one farm to another. And so the lady that we were talking to was slightly paranoid about the subject. And so what we recommended to her was, you pump it out to the street and give us a little paved area alongside your tank, then pump it out of the tank into our tanker. And you don't have to worry about anything then. If you're worried about contamination from our tanker, you just carry a 5-gallon bucket of bleach up there with you when you finish your pumping, and just insert the hose into it and it's clean. You got rid of the bacteria. Some of the dairy farmers, not the dairy farmers, they have issues with disease too, but I mean it's not as serious as some of these others. The hog farmers cram a lot of animals into a very small space. You have 6 square feet per hog, and so your barn is jammed full of pigs. When they're small, the 6 square feet is pretty nice. They got room to move. But when they get to be 250 pounds and they're 4 feet long and 1.5 feet wide, they get a little crowded in there. And so they're very sensitive to temperature changes, and they get diseases very, very quickly. So you have to watch them. The lady we talked to told us that she has 3 hog houses. When she goes out to visit her first hog house, she takes off her street clothes, has a shower, puts on her barn clothes, goes in and takes care of the business in there, then takes off her barn clothes and puts on her street clothes and goes to the next one and has another shower. She has to have a shower when she leaves, before she dresses back up in her street clothes. So she's got 2 showers, 3 barns, that's 6 showers a day. I can't imagine taking that many showers. That's a lot of water. Any more questions?
So you're saying for a dairy farm then that just has all their liquid manure go into a lagoon, and they can agitate it and put it into a slurry tank to take out to their field, that may have too high of a sand content for you to use. They may still have to separate it.
Well,
If they can agitate it and put it in a honey wagon, then can you use it at that consistency?
With the sand was all in there.
well, it depends on a number of factors. We don't want to wear out all our pumps and machinery pumping sand. And so that enters into the cost of the thing. There are probably simple ways to separate the liquid from the sand. It's done every day in the sewage treatment plants where they're trying to treat water.
Well, I don't have a dairy, but I feel kind of sorry for all dairy farmers if they have to put in sand separators. That's not.
Yeah, if they're using sand, that's a distinct disadvantage. The advantage is that when the new regulations come into effect, we're going to be looking at a couple of things. They're going to be limiting nutrient uptake. The amount of nutrients you put into that field is going to have to relatively match the uptake requirements of the corn. Now, for instance, 150 bushel corn, and each hybrid is a little bit different, but about 4/10 of a pound of phosphorus for every bushel. And so 150 bushel corn means you got 0.4 times 150, 6 pounds of phosphorus. That is your limit. And now, whether it's in sand or how it's suspended, if it's placed on the field under no-till conditions, the water the rain will wash it into the nearest stream. And so this is the thing they're going to have to protect against. So whether or not they can get by with some kind of a barrier to segregate the field from the drainage area, it's going to take some space. And so they may have to install, grow in something, plant something like those hybrid poplars that have the extremely dense root structure that they're using in environmental landfill protection, where they're trying to separate the toxic materials from the drainage system. And they found these things work very well. It's a nice business to be in, growing those plants, those trees.
How much does cover crop update?
Cover crop? I don't know.
They vary. It'll vary, similar to that.
So we're taking about 5 tons an acre.
5 ton an acre? Now, what kind of cover crop are you looking at? Okay, okay.
Well, cover crops, probably that's, I've seen the signs all over about cover crops, and I've seen all kinds of stuff planted, from rye to clover, and so, you know, it's a
And the
wide
radishes.
variety.
These organic valley fruits.
Okay, it's 6:30, 7:30 I mean, so we're gonna have to leave. Thank you for coming. I'm sorry the weather was so good that kept the other guys from being able to make it.
Did we answer all your questions?
So if you take what you want to use up there, you're taking the liquid mostly off the top and not agitating. You know, when you get down to the end of your pump, and you want to add more of that, get rid of the sand sucker. That's what they do back home at that place. They use it once in a while, so sand. It is hard on. But liquid